Many thanks again, Lord Hightower.
If you nod, it says, in the place of your liege, it is a pleasure to meet you. The Longthorn, I'm sure, regrets not being able to attend. It's important.
I'm sure whatever his current businesses are highly important, and yet
Yes.
your generosity with our accommodations is more than enough for us.
His lordship is young still. He really isn't. And it is his wish that I handle this in his place. As such, I will not speak with you too much of the trial. I will wait until I hear what you have to tell me in the courtroom with the other judges.
Understandable.
And the other judges, if I understood correctly, my lord, would be Gormy Peak. With a slight tint of
Gorman
taste.
Peak, indeed, will be part of the trial arrangements. So will Lady Jordain, Lord High Lord, and Lord Paramount Baratheon, and myself, as Steward of Highgarden. As such, both Martial Lords, Storm Lords, Dornish Lords, and the Reach Lords are represented.
Might I inquire if representatives of House Will has arrived yet?
They have not.
Nods.
We expect them within a week or two.
Equally, have any other houses expressed interest in showing at the trial? For reasons they have or have not disclosed?
But as Hans says, I do not know. It is your responsible to find your witnesses. However, this is Highgarden. There are always guests from all over the realm.
I expect the same would have been the case of the House Ironwood. Their representatives not arrived yet.
I know not why they would be called. But if they arrive, I shall give them a welcome as any other lord.
All right then. Well, I guess that's kind of weird. I sort of expected Ironwood to show up.
Well, they haven't arrived yet. We can ask them to send forth ravens and see if they've left or not.
I don't think they'll be here in time.
Also, don't forget Ravens going to Dawn have to do a whole weird trip.
I mean, they have someone even further away than House Ironwood coming.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why
That's true,
House
yeah.
Ironwood is not here.
Yeah, that's
They
weird.
not
But that
they
person
not
hasn't.
attack?
That person hasn't arrived either yet, so it literally might just be a case of time.
Will hasn't
Didn't he
arrived yet, so...
Will hasn't
Didn't
arrived
he
yet.
say, though, that he would not see why House Ironwood would be here?
Yeah, they might not just have arrived yet to
It's
say
right,
that they're here.
No, but if
he said that like because he didn't invite them himself, but it doesn't mean they're not coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Doesn't-
why wouldn't they be invited? They were involved in the attack as well.
Well, possibly because that was a Dornish to Dornish.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that doesn't warrant. So
It
maybe
doesn't warrant all four lords.
Yeah, it doesn't
maybe
require
not.
the king's peace being...
Well, will that be a reasonable assessment, Manaki?
Probably.
Or probably okay.
Dawn will certainly not be called in to settle the dispute between House Tarly and House Peak.
Sure. Even if House Blackmont was on Tarly's side in an attack against Peak.
That
They
would
could-
probably be a bigger deal than the other thing.
They could always see Ironwood striking
Regardless,
at
it
will.
seems that you have been contested in the King's Peace and the Peace of Dawn. Dawn has different laws than the rest of the kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
Most people would not want to touch their disputes with a fire poker. But he'll certainly not. If you have any other questions pertaining to the details, then do speak. Though my opinion, and your story shall remain undiscussed at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
No, it's mostly a question of form in that case. Yes. Okay. So they speak, we speak, and that's it.
Yeah.
No argumentation between the sides.
No.
Okay. Argumentations with the judges. Will the judges ask questions, or just listen?
You will present. They will first. The people accusing you will present their arguments, their proofs, and their witnesses. They will question their own witnesses, and the judges will question their witnesses. Then, judges have seen the accused side, and they will hear your side. Doing the same thing, you will bring your witnesses. That'll give you a chance to ask your witnesses questions, and the judges will ask them their own questions. Then, when the whole story has been illuminated and everyone knows what happened here, it is simple to see who is in the right and who is in the wrong.
We don't really have that many witnesses, do we? Like it's Bree who's like the main witness testimony.
We have Bree, who is our main witness testimony.
You do know, of course, that witnesses do not have to have been there at all.
Yes.
A witness is simply someone willing to speak on your behalf for whatever reason.
Lord Asher, get over here.
Which means we have Lord Asher. Assuming Lord Ironwood shows up, assumably.
It would be nice if it did.
You know.
It would be great.
I kind of expected him here, actually.
I mean, the point is, it's very likely he just hasn't arrived yet. We can send up Ravens still, nonetheless, to ask, like, have they left yet?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is no, then we have a problem. But if it says, yes, they have left, it's like, okay, that makes sense.
I think we should maybe dance with the thought that he has screwed us over.
I mean, yeah, that I had that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach when we agreed to this, but, you know, now we have to run the line and hope for the best. We're in too deep now to pull out.
True.
I mean,
Good thing I brought my sword.
he's going to put his daughter in quite the back.
Oh, Alaric, shut up.
Well, his lordship of Hightower will give you a nod and a slight smile. So I hope you enjoy your stay. There should be many things here to take the stress off of this whole affair. I'm sure you will be found innocent in no time, if that is indeed how things are laid out. As he gives you a little moment, perhaps to confess, before you're nodding, for a servant boy to show you to your rooms. And what rooms they are. What rooms they are. Each of them, you have individual rooms. They are exquisite. Golden silks for sheets. There are doublets and dresses laid out for you if you perhaps wish to change from your travel clothes. Each of them have a nice little golden rose embroidered upon them to show that perhaps that you are Tyrell bannermen, so to speak. There's a gilded cord with a rope next to the twin beds, where you potentially could summon servants for whatever things you might need, such as fruits or wine or whatever other desire you might have. As was said, you have your leave of the castle. Although if you wish to leave, you would have to bring Sir Cobray with you, and he probably wouldn't let you go too far out.
Sure.
We're just going to get lost in the maze anyway, it's fine.
The hearings will begin presumably in 10 days or so when everyone has arrived. Then there'll be a few days before it is your turn to present your evidence. Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, you wish to confess immediately, and this whole thing could be avoided.
No.
No one says that, but it is implied.
No. We're not confessing anything here.
You don't have anything to confess.
The only thing we're guilty of is justice.
As you get to your rooms, you will also notice that there is a fine little letter on each of your beds.
Oh, delightful.
Even Nima?
Yes, each of the beds in these rooms.
Sure. Let's check the letter.
The letter seems to be a small invitation to have breakfast in the morning by someone else who's interested in this whole case. You will see that there is a red seal of a huntsman.
No, it's Tarly.
It is also signed by Lord Tali of Hornhill,
There we go.
which is more of a giveaway.
Is he the evil guy, or is it his son that's the evil guy?
His son is his heir, so yeah, this is the older guy.
Okay. The not rampaging murderer. Right.
That's what some would call him.
I mean, as long as he's murdering Peak, I don't care. But I think that's great.
They have been whispering because of this one that whenever Atali is called Sam, he will be a bloodthirsty murderer.
Oh,
It has happened twice now.
okay.
Right.
It's like naming your kid Rasputin. You know, it's a bit.
Or Stalin. You know, Nima's not really good at this. Breakfast with nobles. Or
Breakfast with Tarly.
You don't have.
any breakfast with nobles.
You
don't
don't
have
have
to
to
go.
go.
You're treated as a noble here.
Yeah.
No one seems to have said you aren't. Whoever you supposedly brought would be the champions of your house. Even the servant boy, Lucas, is given a room. He's never ever dare. He doesn't even dare go inside.
He just sits
Oh, Lucas,
outside
you're
like,
so
I don't
cute.
know what's going on.
Champion Lucas of
He just sits huddled up in a corner and doesn't dare.
Yeah,
touch
you
anything.
know,
beautiful
Champion.
gilded doublets that are worth more than he's paid in a year.
Oh,
He
Bless.
He is certainly very starstruck by this whole affair.
I will try and help him get accumulate to the surroundings. It might take a bit.
He will also want to know if this is how it always is for Laenys. Because this is crazy. They have golden roses like all over the walls, and there's like so many keeps in here, and there's like 1,000 people just to make all these lords and ladies feel good about themselves. It's
it's stupid.
completely nuts.
Laenys will actually agree. He feels it's a little bit of overkill.
Nima agrees with Lucas. It's
Again,
it's
it is
ridiculous.
1,000 years worth of kingly glories that have been just added and added.
You small folk can go to a tavern somewhere. We'll
Hey,
keep
you
our
need-
fancy places.
Even Alaric in his time did not have time to go through every hedge maze and learn of every hidden courtyard and little nook and cranny of the place.
your big mission is to go and get Sir Asher and make sure he actually shows up to testify for us.
Yeah,
He could
Sure.
be anywhere.
could be
Yeah,
anywhere.
but you have 10 days. All right.
So what you're saying is make a survival check to track him.
There's
I
of course the
spent,
central keep, the Tyrell,
years.
where the Tyrells live, where you don't go as guests. But you know,
I'm sure I can ask a servant to get word to Sir Asher. I'm sure,
Sure.
Through the servant vine they can.
they know everything here. Whenever you
Exactly.
think you're alone in Highgarden, you
There's
never
a
are.
servant.
Can I basically say I know you're there and no one will come out?
They are practically invisible.
That's what you want.
You can basically just go, I need a servant. Good, you're here.
Moon
You know, I'm
Silver's
really
balls
Oh,
It is
are
not
already
an
inside of
unnatural
this.
thing for someone to walk out of the room and say, "Wine!" and put Nebulas into the room, and then suddenly someone will come running.
I'm oddly thirsty. Something a glass in your hand. Oh,
Well, no. This is weird.
yes.
You go sleep at a brothel somewhere. Just be
You know,
happy.
Nima
They have
would
them
be
in the
happy.
villages if you ride a little bit out the city, out of the
Well,
place.
I'm not allowed to leave.
They
the
don't really
city.
have brothels here because they don't really need them.
No.
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 Just go
I
find
can't
a
leave
nice
without
lady.
that, sir.
Just go find a nice
certainly
lady.
bring
I'm sure
him.
you can better.
Sir, we're going to a.
He's honor bound, he would say, to bring you where you wish to go, as long as it is
So
not
he-
too far.
He would be fine about me taking him to a.
No
brothel.
orgasms, huh?
You would have to hang out outside.
Yeah.
You can join him.
Wow. That would
No.
make you look
Come
so
on.
cool, though. You're like the only.
He's
person.
sworn to take no wife.
Don't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
not
take a
about.
wife.
Of such affairs, his duties are
No one
only-
talked about marriage.
Yeah, we're not gonna get married in there.
It will
That is,
shift
such
like
things are not for a night. Of the day.
As so Alaric is just like tumbling around like a seal in there.
He doesn't need to go to a brothel.
Tighten
He's at home.
balls, sir. Could you relax? We're not getting married.
The High Garden is his home. He knows his way around.
You know,
Dessem does too.
I bet he has planted his flowers here, no matter how honorable
There
he
are
is.
He will
probably
certainly
several
go to
flowers.
High Garden to plant flowers and tend the garden, as they say.
Alaric has
It's
spent
not an
many years
uncommon.
doing so.
That is not an uncommon thing, and as such, most of the guards, like in the higher keeps, are flowers of different lords who, well, maybe they don't even know.
Uh-huh. Well, one thing is in the way of Nima leaving. It is in case you guys need Nima.
I'm sure you can relax for a bit.
Regardless, Lord Arton will take his leave. He seems to be a busy man. He certainly always has like books and stuff under his table. Perhaps this whole thing is a nightmare of logistics.
I would imagine so.
Has to deal with.
Well,
As you're allowed, basically, your leave of the castle.
Nima
Tomorrow,
will-
it's sort of afternoon. Tomorrow there will be, presumably, if you want to go, breakfast with Lord Tarly in one of the many gardens outside of the first wall.
Sounds great.
In
Tarly,
the most courtyards are a little shadowed because of the tall, enormous wall. So,
we're generally friends with the Tarlys. I see no reason not to.
well, my lords, I would like
Laena's
to...
mother was a Tarly.
Exactly.
Laena's mother was a Tarly.
Ooh,
Yeah, we're good
Aegon's
friends with
wife, late
Yeah.
wife.
that's so
yeah.
cute.
We're good friends with the Tarlys.
Betrayed
Anyway.
Lord Tarly's sister.
Nima will go to the lords and can I ask for my leave? This is driving me crazy.
Well,
Beef everywhere.
I mean,
Explore the city.
you're fine. Fine, you can go and explore the city.
Should do a sarcastic bow to you. And go find that sir.
Which, sir?
Call brave.
All right, you can certainly find Sir
Sir
Paul.
Whitecloak.
Good, now we can really run away. And he is preoccupied.
Yeah.
Get your ass over here.
But
Appreciate such tone, but
He is honor bound.
What is expected of Nima to say to him? Could the nice sir get over here?
That's a bit patronizing.
Just
Well, Nima is from Braavosi.
just talk to him like a normal human being. Generally, is a good way to go about it.
Let's go,
she says.
Moonsinger.
Just
Get
say,
over here.
Let's go, Moonsinger. We need to find a whorehouse.
He's like, again.
sort
Again,
of frown and says, I will have your escort. This place gives me headaches.
Me too.
I'll take you
Do
over
you
here.
mind if I call you Moonsinger? Moonsinger.
I'll say, it is Sir Gawain Copley of the King's Guard.
Sir Knight it is.
Frowns, smirch his honor.
Don't besmirch his
like-
honor.
he's one of the best
You
knights
told
in
me to-
all of the
to-
realm, and you just besmirched his
You
honor.
told me to, treat him like a normal human being.
Give him some
No one has
respect,
that
though.
long name.
He probably doesn't like that, though. He seems very high strung.
No one has such a long
He's
name.
a knight of the Vale, indeed.
Yeah, just
Oh, highest honor.
yes,
How high is your honor, Sir Knight?
Oh, God damn it.
pretty fucking high.
Well, I'm so happy that, they found each other. It's
Let's
a,
just
frown.
let's
It's a
go.
beautiful,
Frown.
it's a beautiful friendship.
Nima is prejudiced against noble men, so this is perfect.
meanwhile, Sir Alaric can well, there's a perfect opportunity to break his new break his new squire in.
It's true. Yeah.
You go
Perfect
do
time.
that.
Squire's awestruck.
It's
You
just,
know-
he can't move. He says,
There's a lot of people awestruck. I think Dessem and Sir Alaric are the only ones
It
not.
is amazingly huge, this
Yeah.
place. And opulent beyond imagination.
if we could, steal a few... No.
No
Take
stealing.
this.
Steal what you're saying?
Bad
Steal like the
Dessem.
golden bedsheet.
Yeah, exactly. Just how many points of wealth? Just for
Uh,
taking what's in our room,
3.
Have a few per year and you live for you have 1,000 years. You just keep pumping them in.
Yeah. It's
Like
like,
new golden roofs on the main keep. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
But that is looking at all this, and it's just like there's so much that could be done with this money that's not just painting everything gold.
All of it's been done already.
They literally have built it with money.
There are two sides of it. There is the stewardship side that's like, this is a waste, and there's a charitable side that's like, there's like good things that could have been done with this.
But look at all the roses growing up all the walls.
It's just amazing.
So much high garden.
Beautiful. It's such a high garden. Like, wow.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm going to imagine now, though, that's going to get lost at some point in here.
No matter where you go, pretty much, there's also nice music coming from someplace. And a different scent of roses.
It's always a bard or a maiden or something playing a lute or whatever.
Yeah, certainly.
Or a singer, young, beautiful singer singing a song of knightly deeds.
While people swoon around him.
There's also always servants around. Or people, anyway. And you find it impossible to be alone. Perhaps in your room you can, if there's not people in the walls.
Yeah, just look under the bed, you know.
Any servants in here? Get out.
Rustles from everywhere.
Yeah,
people
someone
clown
out
car.
of a chair.
Not Lucas, then. You can stay.
Where's my lord? Just in a corner shivering. Like,
I
oh.
don't know what it is. It's so big, I don't even know where the kitchen is.
You know,
Everything is also marked with golden roses.
Yes, of course.
Like when you're served meal tonight, it's also like plates of fine silver with gilded roses on them.
Would from the main series when she said like the chamber pot has also got a golden rose on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Tali talking.
Yes. Tarly talks.
You can certainly sleep the next day. So Ashra doesn't turn up for the rest of the day.
That's fine. I'm sure he's still trying to get his way
He's
around.
a free spirit, as you say.
It's basically show up within 10 days. Just
Get here, we need to talk.
yeah. I would like it if you could talk to me before the trial. That'd be great. Thanks. Bye.
You need survival check to track people in this damn place.
Well, if you wish to move to the next day where you have a little bit of a meeting,
Yes. Let's have a bit of a meeting.
to go to it. You sleep amazing. Probably better than you sleep at home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but like this is so expensive. It might actually be too expensive. Our house doesn't have this much
Craven
money.
roll.
Craven roll to
I don't
sleep
think
in bed.
I don't think it's really Craven roll. Just,
Oh my! Look at that beard. Are you sure he's
Being
not
one of the
northern?
many
Look at
gods.
Are you sure he's not northern? Look at that beard.
He looks kind of northern, yeah. Well, let's see what the good Lord Tarly wants.
You'll be he's big and he wears his armor, slightly rusted, slightly attempted to be polished up, but surely functional compared to all the gilded stuff people are wearing here. He seems to certainly be a man dressed for function rather than much else. He has a sword, not his ancestral sword, probably held by his son at this point, as he is getting up in the ages a little bit. This is Salwyn Tali of Hornhill, Lord Salwyn Tali.
As
Hornhill. He's sitting here with sort of a little napkin with a golden rose and on the plates and in a little garden of grapes, sort of a fence with grapes growing on it to sort of obscure it from many other places. There are servants putting what seems to be roast duck in tiny portions and all sorts of other things. Who knows why they get this for breakfast, but they do. Lots of fruit. And certainly many things that are very sweet, cakes and such.
Alaric asked for bigger portions.
Give me the whole duck, just give it. Yeah, Dessem will, approach and he will.
As you approach, he will stand up.
Yeah, Dessem will, go to him and says, Lord Tarly, it has been too long.
He will walk towards Dessem and sort of move to bump his chest into Dessem's and pat him on the back at the same time.
Yeah, Dessem will do the same.
He's strong, even though he has some age on him. Smiles. A smile that seems to be sort of wrinkles his face up a little bit, as if he's not used to it. It's good to see you, Dessem. How's your brother doing?
Oh, he is better than ever, as far as I'm told. Oh gosh.
Get off the man. Just owes you shit.
He's better than ever. Selwyn, thanks for asking. He smiles. He sends his regards, of course.
I think I've only seen him at the wedding. So many years ago. Good man.
Yes, he is. Dessem smiles.
Over at Alaric nods. We probably also met at the wedding.
Alaric nods back.
She looks to Laenys. Bending down says, sort of to Laenys' level, and walks close and says, and that would be young Laenys Caladan.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Lord Tarley. He says with a polite smile and a very
Call me
slight...
uncle.
Uncle Tarley.
To put a hand on your shoulder, then moving down to feel your sort of arm. So, you've been training, lad.
Nods. Sir Alaric is quite the teacher.
Don't be so modest. My dear nephew. You have been even fighting at the forefront recently. Dessem smiles as he sits down at the table.
Nods. First into the fight, he says, the words of House Tali.
Mm-hmm.
First to battle. As he will smile slightly and says, it is good to see you. Last time I saw you, you're barely anything. He says, I have really visited too rarely. I find that in my age, he smiles and says, we never know how much family matters before we lose it. Frowns slightly.
Mm-hmm. It gladdens me greatly to see you in Highgarden, Selwyn. We heard
of your troubles, and I couldn't help but come, especially after that Stugger was named one of the judges. Lord Karen.
Yes, that Dessem looks over to him. That was a development we did not foresee in this. He grumbles a bit. Gormy will make this very difficult for us, I fear.
He says, well, it makes it difficult for all of us.
I also heard of your altercation with him.
Says, I hope you would. What do you think?
There's some shrugs. It is difficult to say. So little of the facts actually reached us. But I can only say that anything that sticks in Gormy's craw is something that makes me smile.
We use the weapon we have been given, and well, in the end, it is the results that matter.
Aye, indeed.
If only it had worked. Could have saved you a lot of trouble.
He nods. Appreciate the attempt.
Yeah.
Even though I suspect you didn't do it solely for our benefit. He smiles.
Smiles sadly as he sits down and gestures to the plates that take place around.
Sure.
Squire sort of stands and then sits down. Gets a nod from Selwyn, who probably doesn't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's
beat a little bit.
So, she'll yeah. Actually, it was for your benefit. I got whipped up a little bit. It just didn't seem fair. Just, I wanted to... I did what I could. I wanted to make it possible for them to arrange the potential betrothal between this other nephew and their daughter, about the same age.
Dessem frowns deeply. That is a prospect that would upset me greatly. Sadly.
My son in there in her way and hoped that he would follow his instincts.
Nods.
She was apparently too fierce for him. Hoped he would be smarter about it, but well, if that had happened, then a future marriage could be disputed easily. I would let my son marry the woman. They cannot control him. I can't. Damn it, I've tried.
Mm.
They can control your one, my nephew. Though perhaps the fact that such a marriage has not yet been arranged is proof that he has a little bit of spine. He does have some of Aaron in him as well.
Communications, I'm sad to say, with him has been very sparse during the years. Well, you know this, of course. Gormy is a treacherous and petty soul. He has made it incredibly difficult for us to actually be in touch with.
If asked, don't tell anyone that I confess to knowing what went on with this whole thing. I have been denying it fervently whenever brought up.
Of course.
I wanted you to know, though, that I did this for you. What's this? I looked at you.
We appreciate it.
We have a bond. A sister's honor. Sort of lowers his eyes, blinks a few times.
Mm-hmm.
They would presume to steal my sister's son from his dying father and from her dead memory. They would disinherit the other one, dishonor him. They would break the will of his family. Next to you. She loved Aaron, you know. They would... They were such together. So smile slightly.
Dessem smiles as well. They sure were. Inseparable, as I recall.
He grips his knife a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Shakes his head. Sort of thinly veiled anger behind his grey eyes.
Yeah, Dessem is
The
not
time
really...
will come, though. Their time will come. And when it does, I will stand next to you. And then, well, the seven will burn, kings will burn, gods will die, but they will get what's coming to them. Sort of looks to Lean and says, they will not live to enjoy what they did to your mother's memory.
I will
take a big bite of his duck.
I will not allow them to disgrace her memory either.
We have many battles that we have fought. We have done some initial movements on the way to ousting Peak from the outrageous things they have done to us, but it takes time. Winning this case is key to it.
Yes, and that's why I came here to support you. I don't know what this is about, but I know that they are there and you are here, and that means there will be conflict.
Aye. I have not spoken with Gormy, well, for many, many years. Last time it didn't end too great, but he smiles. I have grown a little bit wiser and a little bit more silver-tongued, and I doubt the same can be said for Gormy. He never was much of a talker.
No, he will force his way through. He has the influence. It is a troubling change. This whole election of him as the stand-in for Lord Karen.
It is odd. I am not sure I understand exactly how that happened.
It is acknowledgement that he is the strongest of the martial lords. The most honorable, the one held in highest esteem. It shouldn't be you up there.
Gormy wouldn't recognize honor if it was served to him on a silver platter, on a golden fork.
Certainly right. His honor has rarely been tested. It is easy when you have power to just lash out at anyone who dares be in conflict with you. I cut them down, though. He doesn't have a mind for strategy. In the field, I would not want to meet him personally, but on a hill with my forces laid out in front of me, sort of shakes it slightly. He doesn't stand a chance.
Alaric chuckles and says that I'll have him on the field any day.
Eating his duck.
Looks up at the
Raises his cup and says, well, I would call you foolhardy, but your prowess is not unheard of. Perhaps you could give him some sport.
Alaric smiles and nods. Sorry, I mean,
It's fitting.
in character, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dessem looks down at his plate, eats something, and says, yes, winning the case is important. It is good that you are here to support us. Even if Gormy himself might be a bit difficult to tussle, he does not own all the power at that court.
He does not. He speaks for the martial lords. Problem being that, well, if anyone is unsure of their position, they will likely look to him as the representative of the people who are directly above you. Of course, Lord Hightower is as well, but he has always been an old crutch. He cares for numbers, and he will do what he thinks is best for the realm. Lord Arian, though, he's a man I can understand. Haven't spoken with him much, but if you want to win his good side, tell of, well, how badly they treat dogs. He shrugs. He loves dogs.
Oh, the stories we can tell.
We do actually have stories.
And that's Lord Baratheon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know anything in particular about Lady Jordain?
He shrugs. Has never really heard of her. A woman judging men. Shakes his head. This is what the realm has come to.
Out of
The father would cry out in anger.
out of character, that could work really well with Bree being tortured and like being like nothing just because she's a woman. We could play on that, possibly get her on our side that way.
Oh yeah, possibly. Yeah, the dog thing is also noted.
But luckily, we did in fact see some.
Yeah, no, and I'm right now. I'm envisioning Dessem being like, I'm gonna paint
Exactly what you saw.
exactly what I saw. Yes,
And
the picture says more than 1,000 words, my lord. And then like unveil it, and then like Lord Baratheon just throws up in pure anger. He's like, whoa!
a tear rolls down his cheek as it's unveiled.
It wouldn't be a cheer. It would be.
I would warn you, though, try not to lie to Lord Baratheon. That is not the right way. He has hanged men for less. Yeah. He's a fierce one.
Indeed.
And as it happens, he will be the only Lord Paramount around. His word will carry some extra weight just because of his status. Behind him stands all of the Stormlands, which includes most of the marshes.
Duly noted.
However, in Highgarden, and perhaps that will keep him back a little bit. Wouldn't want to step too much on the Longford's toes.